Hey there, I am here with Amanda Aaron. And hi, Amanda, thanks so much for doing this with me.
Thrilled to do it.
Awesome. So let's just start by you telling you've been in the program now officially 3 months, right? We're at right at that date.
Yes.
And so why don't you just start with where you were before you started the program?
Okay. Well, I consider myself a very active person, and I live in New York City, and I do a lot of yoga, and I do a lot of walking, and I have done posture stuff before, many, many years ago. I had done some Alexander technique, and I had done, chi running and chi walking and all this yoga, lots of body awareness and attention to alignment. But about 50 years old, and in the last couple of years, I started to really start to get injuries in both yoga, also weight training. Um, and recently, I have had shoulder injuries, and recently I had a long time of kind of hip lower back stuff. I was told that it was my QL. Um, and as that started to get better, the thing that really alarmed me and sent me searching for you was that I started to feel numbness in my left foot during walking. And that was scary. And I didn't have an official diagnosis, but I knew that, numbness is not something to mess around with. And I remember that years ago when I was doing all this walking and posture stuff, I think I had found some somebody told me about you, or I knew that you had a yoga studio in Brooklyn, but also that you focused on walking. And I don't remember why I didn't call you, 20 years
Mhm.
ago, but or more, actually more like 10 or 15 years ago. But this time I was like, oh, let me find out if that guy's still around. And I started Googling, and I didn't remember your name, but I remember, Brooklyn yoga walking or something like that. But anyway, I found you. It didn't take me long, and reached out, and turns out you're still doing this, but now from Ohio and on Zoom instead of in person. And I got very excited reading about what your focus, because obviously we share the language of yoga. So the fact that you not only teach posture but have body cues in a language that I understand or can translate into yoga poses that I'm already familiar with. Um, and you know, it's been great. We can talk about more specifically if you'd like.
Yeah, no, and it's interesting because we share like have mutual acquaintances. You did the Alexander technique with an old friend of mine, Joan Arnold, and you studied yoga, who's unfortunately passed away, and that you study yoga with teachers I know and who I've studied with and stuff like that, which has really been that's really fun. So you basically you got through a bunch of years without pain, right? Is that correct? You didn't start having pain until, like, did you say 5 years ago or a little more?
I mean, I've always had like a series of just an injury. I'm very active and do a lot of stuff. So I can't say no pain. I've had a series of injuries my whole life. And in fact, the reason I first went to the Alexander technique in yoga was when I was 26, and I was in desperation because I had repetitive strain injuries from the computer. And so those things helped a lot. But I've always had something, maybe once a year or once every couple of years I would get an injury. It would take me 6 months, 9 months, and then that would clear up. Um, but it's been happening more frequently as I get older. And so yeah.
That's great. And so the main thing, again, just to repeat, like it was the numbness in the foot that really started to worry you and sent you searching.
Yes, and I had been searching, I had been doing massage therapy intensively, and I had seen a DO for adjustments. And my normal go-to of just doing a lot of yoga and trying to undo tension and stress, it just wasn't really working. I felt like the injuries were kind of becoming more frequent or more entrenched.
That's great. And now, not to lead the witness, but the numbness is gone.
Yes, I mean, I get if I'm in a high stress day and my body's out of whack and I'm walking and I'm not kind of getting it, I get a little numbness, and it is like this warning sign that I'm not in the right walking posture.
So that's great. So you at this point, you can use the numbness as a cue to change.
Yes, because what you've taught me has allowed me to walk long distances without any numbness. And also, I've even started running a bit.
That's great. And I, to be clear, you have taken really good advantage of this program, right? You have really put in the time and put in the effort. And it's not that it's difficult, but you really like the posture stuff. I'm always listening for what people say, and you got the posture stuff and felt pretty comfortable in what I call new you pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I think all my years of yoga and body awareness work really helped me understand what you were telling me. And it was very counterintuitive. Nobody had ever explained how to get into good posture in a way that I understood before. But I had like kind of this little mental translator that I understood at this time. I think I was ready for it, but also your attention and instructions and the whole program really works so well together. I think that one thing is just, your instructions about what a good posture is, but also your yoga classes and all your exercises work together to activate muscles and parts of the body that were just completely not activated and not being used properly. So, that it helps, because if you do certain exercises to wake up your feet and wake up your inner legs and breathe into your back, then go walking or then try to stand in posture, your body's primed for it. And that's what I've really, I see that and I feel that. And that's huge. And it's something I can practice in my yoga classes too.
That's great. And so tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like, because one of the things in the program is the video analysis where you can send me videos. And I feel like that was a big thing in that you were feeling good and things were going well, but there was still numbness. And then it was a couple of videos you sent me that we were able to analyze. I analyzed them for you. And then together that really was able to make tiny little adjustments in your walk that clicked, right?
Absolutely. The video analysis is huge. Because there's like feeling and then there's seeing. So, feeling isn't 100%, getting that kind of body awareness, proprioception feeling is important and it needs to be developed, but I can't see myself. So to be able to send you the video, and then you sent me back this incredible thing with all these dots on my showing my alignment and in the steps, slowed down, and I could really see this hyperextension that I was doing that I wasn't aware of at all. And then you were able to give me, and these are really minor adjustments, and you were able to give me, tips about how to get there. Walk. You need to take quicker steps, smaller steps. You need to, lean forward and let gravity, feel like you're falling forward. And some of these things I'd heard before, but to put it all together and then see the impact that it has is a great thing about what you do, and very unusual.
It's really funny because, like I said, you take yoga with people that I've known for a long time, and my instructions are kind of odd and different, but not that odd and different, right? It's all in the sort of in the same wheelhouse.
Absolutely. And there was like a certain amount of translating that we had to do sometimes where you would say something like, tilt your rib cage down. And, and I would say, you know, oh, that means, don't overarch my lower back or whatever it was, just, yeah. But yes, some of your instructions were not what I was hearing in my yoga classes. And it was actually really helpful to hear something different.
Yeah, it's very funny. Like, drop the ribs like, I don't know, for 15 years, it's my favorite instruction. And for 15 years, people are like, what are you talking about? And it's not that I can't come up with a better way. It's just that I keep saying the same thing and eventually you figure it out. But I think that is really funny and pretty classic. Like, I have not found a better way to say what I want. But eventually when it takes, it works, and I will repeat that you have really put in the time and the effort, and that makes the stuff that much easier.
Yeah, I mean, it was just very exciting for me to have something to do, right? Like, not just, to think about and try to figure out while I was walking, but you give a lot of opportunities to practice. And so the fact that your program has 2 yoga classes a week and a group session a week and a workshop every other week and the private, there's like all these opportunities to reinforce it. And so that I was ready for this and I happened to have the time to put into it. And I felt like that all of that together was, it was kind of an intensive couple of months of just thinking about this all the time, but I do feel like I learned stuff that I'll use forever.
No, that's really great. And that is something I love, that like when we part ways, you still have lots of tools you'll be able to use. I love I don't love the idea that you will still get the numbness, but I love the idea that now when you get numbness, it's not like, oh my God, that's so terrible. It's like, oh, let me make this tiny little shift to get rid of it.
I mean, it's like all the things that it's like one of many things that my body's saying, oh, today you're stressed, or today you're out of whack, or you slept badly, or, so now I have tools like I'll lie down in constructive rest for 20 minutes and stretch out my toes and my feet the way, with some of these exercises. And then I'll know that I can undo some of that.
No, it's great. I have to say, like, my goal for every single person I work with is to be as active as you are. And not everybody wants to be that active. Like I say, there's some people I have to say, slow down. Some people I have to say, speed up. But ultimately, the goal is that you can really do whatever you want to do and be as active as you want and not suffer for it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's been a real gift.
All right. Thank you so much, Amanda. I so appreciate your having this chat with me.
Well, thank you.
Look forward to everything you have going forward.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day.
All right. You too.